the final victory. How overcoming narcissistic abuse is the final victory. This is what we're talking about today. So coming in, and that's what we're going to talk about. This is what we're going to get into today. Overcoming narcissistic abuse as the final victory, right? The final victory. This is what we're talking about today. So coming in. Overcoming narcissistic abuse as the final victory. The final victory. This is what we're going into today. So we're going to go into all the dimensions of this, what it is. Come on in. We are talking about escaping narcissistic abuse as the final victory, Cynthia. Yeah. Overcoming narcissistic abuse as overcoming the final battle. Overcoming the final battle to victory. This is what we're going over today, because that's exactly what happens when you encounter and overcome narcissistic abuse. That is you overcoming the final warfare that holds you down. So overcoming narcissistic abuse is the final victory. And this is what we're talking about today. So come on in, and tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. This is what we're going into. So for everyone who's experienced narcissistic abuse, let me just start by saying, escaping narcissistic abuse is not just leaving a toxic person. It is the end of a war fought inside your nervous system, your psychology, your spirituality, and even your culture. Do you hear what I'm saying? Escaping narcissistic abuse is not just leaving a toxic person. It is the end. It's the end, elusive, but still there. The end of a war fought inside your nervous system, your psychology, your mind, and in your spirit, and even your culture. This is what I call the final victory. Not because you win against a narcissist, but because the battlefield itself disappears. Let me say that again. Escaping narcissistic abuse is not just leaving a toxic person. It's not. It's the end of a war. A war fought inside your mind, your nervous system, your spirit, even your family, your culture. That is what I am calling the final victory. Not because you won against a narcissist, it is, but because the battlefield itself disappears. It's almost like the scene in The Matrix where Neo goes to see the Oracle, and he's talking to the little girl, and she says, she bends the spoon. She looks at the spoon and bends the spoon. And he asks her, how did you bend the spoon? And she says to him, I bend the spoon by realizing that there is no spoon. There is no spoon. Well, what never goes away is your journey. What I'm here to tell you is you can overcome it. And if that's not your experience, find out for yourself. Don't believe me. The Buddha said, ehipassiko. So it goes away. It continues because you want it to continue. That's as simple as that. I just don't know how to re-emphasize how strong and powerful you are. That anything that happens in your life is happening because of permission in your mind. The moment you accept it and you desire nothing else, that eliminates the battlefield. Because the narcissist no longer has anywhere to fight. The narcissist has nowhere to fight. Your attention, your emotions, your time are no longer for sale. If you think it doesn't go away, it means you're still resonant to that energy, right? And if this doesn't resonate with you, then this is not for you. Because in this session, we're going to look at it across multiple dimensions. And by the end, you will see that overcoming narcissistic abuse is essential. The body forgets. The body keeps score until you heal the body. Then the body no longer holds on to trapped trauma. Let's just tell the truth as it is. You see, that's what it is. And if that's not your experience, then this is not the place for you, right? Let me just say this. Oh, hello, Yolanda. Greetings to you, Christ consciousness. So let me talk to you about this. And here I'm going to talk about the work of Bessel van der Kolk and Judith Herman. Bessel van der Kolk wrote the book, The Body Keeps the Score. So I always like to give you evidence. This is why when somebody says something that's not rooted in evidence, it's very easy for us to just say that's not it, because we give evidence. So in the work by Bessel van der Kolk described narcissistic abuse as a system of coercive control. And that coercive control works through trauma bonding. That coercive control only works through trauma bonding. You see? And that trauma bonding includes cycles of intermittent reward and cycles of punishment. When you love yourself, you no longer put yourself through that anymore. So that's the end of it. When you haven't fully got into a place of self-love, then you say things like it never goes away. You are the power. Nobody determines. You are the author and writer of your own movie. And I'm really passionate about this point because that's what transformation is. Transformation is realizing your own power and living according to that power, not weakness. Because weakness is what was programmed into you. You see? So the roller coaster keeps your brain locked in, where you have dopamine spikes, shame floods, and fear binds you. You become bound by fear, Treasure Star. This is what happens. You see? So academically, that is not love. It is not love. It's a conditioned trauma loop. It's a conditioned trauma loop. You see? And the narcissist becomes the unpredictable authority figure because you make them that when you are unhealed. And you adapt by over-functioning, over-explaining, and shrinking yourself. But the truth is, victory begins when you decondition the loop. When your nervous system no longer associates chaos with intimacy, when you no longer chase resolutions where none exist, the schema changes. So instead of saying I must prove my worth, the baseline becomes I am worthy as I am. The end of seeking, I love it. That's the point. And you can email it to me at nana@innermileage.com. This is the point. You see, academically, it's not love. The truth is when you decondition the loop, when your nervous system no longer associates chaos with intimacy, when you no longer chase resolution when none exists, your schema changes. So you're no longer in the business of I must prove my worth. Anything that makes me feel like I must prove my worth, I immediately realize, oh no, I am beginning to overfunction. We're not doing that. Your new baseline becomes I am worthy as I am. Reciprocity is the standard, not just me overfunctioning. Boundaries are not aggression, they are alignment. You see, this is psychologists' gift to show us the map of trauma and the rewiring of your identity. Cynthia, you got it. You see? So let me go even deeper into the biology of this final victory. Narcissistic abuse is not mental. It is physiological. Chronic abuse loads the body with allostatic stress. High cortisol, which is the stress hormone, right? High cortisol, adrenal fatigue, and immune suppression. This is what Stephen Porges calls polyvagal theory. You see, this is what happens. This is why survivors will often say, I don't know who I was anymore, because your nervous system was stuck in survival mode. The victory is when you reclaim your regulation through breath work, through vagal toning, through awareness. Your body becomes the first line of truth. And science measures this in heart rate variability, your cortisol rhythms, and how quickly you return to calm after stress. But the real evidence is experiential, when your body no longer confuses chaos for love. You see, Earthlines? This is what happens. No contact. You see? Why? The final victory is when you no longer bow. When you no longer bow. When you no longer bow. Because every tradition warns of false idols. You see? For example, in the Buddha Dharma, it talks about clinging to illusion, mistaking false structures for reality. You see, that's a false illusion. That is a false illusion. In Christianity, this is the preponderance of what are called false prophets, those who demand worship of the ego instead of God. You see, this is what happens. This is what happens. You get what I'm saying? So Islam also speaks of adil. Adil. When you are in a deal, that's the place of justice and balance. You see what I mean? That's the place of justice and balance. And sorry, I lost the folks on Instagram. I'm trying to log back in because my connection was problematic there. So in the Vedic tradition, it's the same thing. Thank you, Age Motivation. Thank you. You can call me Tay. Oh, I'm so glad. The Vedic tradition frames this as karmic bondage. Karmic bondage. These are cycles that trap you until you awaken to Dharma. And the narcissist is a living idol because they demand your attention. They demand your sacrifice. They demand your worship. But when you see through the illusions, hi, Nora, and welcome back. I lost the Instagram for just a second. I don't know. The vibrations are too strong. So this is what we're doing. And I know we're pissing off some demons right now. So we're going at it. The narcissist is a living idol because the narcissist demands your attention, your sacrifice, and your worship. We're discussing the end of narcissism as the final victory. So when you see through the illusion, that spell breaks. The final victory is when you no longer bow. You only bow to you. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. You know, in Kundalini Yoga, there's this notion of Satnam. Satnam means I bow to the teacher within me. So even when you bow to another person, there are no others. You're bowing to yourself. So the final victory is when you no longer bow. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Karma is not condemnation, but curriculum. It's a lesson. And you walk away not in bitterness. I'm glad you do, but in dignity. And dignity aligned with truth, guided by Dharma, not karma. You see? And if anything I'm saying here to you connects with you, you can book a free session at innermileage.com if you want to go deeper and higher. So let me even give you some more context of this final victory I'm talking about. Look at the culture we live in. Whether you are in Europe or Asia or in Australia or North America or South America or Latin America or in Africa or in Asia, Central Asia, right? Arab Asia, Eurasia, social media, politics, and even business all reward narcissistic behaviors. Drama sells, outrage trends, and performative empathy gets applause. You see? But the victory here is intentional curation. And in intentional curation, what you are choosing is your inputs. You refuse to monetize your wounds. You refuse to let the economy of attention drain your sovereignty. Freedom is not just leaving a person, it's leaving a culture of manipulation. Come on, if I'm talking to you, type transform in the comment section. Let me know I'm talking to you. I feel like I've been talking about myself or to myself today, Kat, Haji Yoga. Somebody tell me I'm talking to you. If I'm talking to you, type transform. Let me know. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia. You see, the narcissists run on this attack. There's an attack. Thank you, Griggles. Thank you. It's all via Zoom, Britta. It's all via Zoom, and you can book it on my website, innermileage.com, right? It's all Zoom-based. Thank you. Thank you. There can only be one. Thank you, it. You see, let me give you the narcissist playbook. They have a playbook called DARVO. You've probably heard it before. DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. This is how they go through these smear campaigns. Let me go through it again. They deny, they attack, then they become the reverse victim, therefore the offender. You become the offender. Davo, deny, attack, reverse victim, and an offender. Like you're talking about frequencies here, 467. So these are tactical moves. And we know that the way you disrupt that tactical move is to observe, orient, decide before you act. You see, what's the question? Can you explain much of psychosis related to empath and narcissistic intent? I don't understand the question, but I do know for a fact that narcissistic abuse will lead you to a mental breakdown. So when you shorten your loop and you observe clearly and you orient to your values and decide swiftly, the game ends. And the way you kill this chain of narcissism is to detect manipulation. Detect manipulation. The moment you detect manipulation, deny access. And when you deny access, you disrupt the narrative. And when you disrupt the narrative, you degrade the influence. And when you degrade the influence, you expel the presence. This is how you end the game. And I'm going to go through that cycle again. Davo, D-A-R-V-O. Thank you, Cynthia. Davo means deny, attack, then claim you're the victim, reverse victim, which makes the empath the offender. You got it, Cynthia. That's exactly it. You see? So the way you kill this chain of narcissism is to detect the manipulation. See the manipulation, Cynthia. See the manipulation. And when you see anything that manipulates, deny it access. Deny it your attention. And when you deny access, you disrupt the narrative. The narrative that you are this, you are that, you're not this, you're not that. And when you disrupt the narrative, the smear campaign cannot work. When the smear campaign is cut off at the seams, you degrade the influence of the narcissist. And when the narcissist influence is degraded, they move on. You expel their presence. So the war ends when you realize the only battlefield was your attention. The war ends, Tresha, when you realize that the battlefield was your attention. It's what in quantum physics is called the observer effect. You see? So at the deepest level, narcissism is sorcery. Let me explain. Gaslighting is a spell. What's the formula? It's your attention plus your emotion plus repetition equals bondage. They hijack your attention, they hijack your emotion, and it's repeated. That's how you end up in bondage. The abuser doesn't just control your behavior, they enchant your perception of reality. So escaping is unbinding. Naming the pattern is how you break the spell. Cutting cords, both symbolically, energetically, and practically, is how you sever the contract, how you reclaim your story and reconsecrate your energy, V-Star. So esoterically, this looks like blocking numbers. It looks like refusing triangulation. I mean, it looks like documenting abuse. Whereas exoterically, it's about breaking spells through truth, through ritual, and through non-resonance. And the main way you stay out of non-resonance is you stop doing anything that has to do with hate, frustration, anger, complaining, critique, negative energy. You get away from that. And victory means that every contract, psychological, spiritual, and energetic, is void. You see? So no contact is tactical. It's how you stop the communication. But the final victory is how you get to a place of no resonance. No resonance. The narcissist can only have access to you when resonance still exists. The resonance means you want attention. If my partner can't see what I see, it makes things harder as I don't have the same experience. Of course, we're all different. But I have to tell you a secret, IT or it. When you awaken, it becomes very difficult to date or marry or be in a relationship with someone who is not awakening or awakened. That's what happens. It's just a fact. I just have to tell you. You see, you just can't do it. It will just be another learning cycle that you have to go through. So you realize that escaping narcissistic abuse is not about leaving a person. It's about leaving an entire game. And here, I want to invite you to ask any questions you have. Or if you want to come on video on Instagram, just invite yourself. Same thing on TikTok. If you want to come on video, I'll take 1 or 2 questions before we wrap up. But this is the final victory. Blame shifting is what they do. Thank you, Prestige. You're so kind. So the final victory feels like this. It feels like, oh, my life is boring. That is victory. Because peace sometimes feels like boredom. A nervous system at peace feels like it's bored because there's no chaos. That's a clear evidence of peace. A mind no longer bound by lies. You see? What's the question, Kitoko? On time, man, how you doing advising people? How is this your husband from the church? I don't understand anything you said there, Kitoko. I don't understand anything. So we're talking about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. So if that's not what you want to talk about, then this is probably not the right life for you, right? But you start to live a spirit aligned to truth. A spirit aligned to truth, Liz. And you start to prove yourself by going after purpose. So Kitoko, what are you here for? Are you here for narcissism and narcissistic abuse? I want you to, I don't understand anything this person is saying, Kitoko. You got to get out of here. With respect. Yeah, I don't understand anything you're saying. You see? So let me keep going. A life proving your purpose is what begins to happen. And when you achieve that, you don't just heal yourself, you become proof for others that peace is stronger than chaos, that sovereignty is stronger than control. This is how empaths become leaders. You see, this is how your wounds become wisdom. This is how escaping narcissism becomes attention and ascension. This is the message. So overcoming narcissistic abuse is the final frontier. You see, this is the final frontier where you no longer have to run and hide. You no longer have to, it's a flex. Oh, craft son of a gun. I love that. This is how you wake up. You wake up by stopping running. Like this song by Jay Electronica, one of my favorites now. It's called Run and Hide. Jay Electronica featuring the Bullets or James Samuel. You see, when you no longer attract chaos and you're in a place of peace, you no longer have to run and hide. You see, this is the time for the narcissist to run and hide. This is the time for the narcissist to run and hide because the retrograde has put them in the time of karma, whilst the empath is entering the time of dharma. So this is what it's about, realizing that you no longer have to run and hide. But it's now time for the narcissist to run and hide, all of them. And usually, oh, don't try to, come on, tell them, Jake. I'm going to turn around and face it. The teacher said, the never will never come. You can't decide. Woo! Run and hide. Run and hide. My smile is my victory. Exactly, cats and puggers. Run and hide. Run and hide. You see the emphasis on hide? That's how they're going to run and hide. Run and hide. Sing it to your narcissist. No resonance, meaning you're only in resonance with things that exist in you. So if you're in resonance with a narcissist headlines, it means you still have hate and confusion in you. When you no longer have hate and confusion in you, that's the end of resonance with the narcissist. Because the narcissist can only reach you when there is hate. When there's no more hate, that's the end of it. And they will try. They will try. They will try. It happens. It happens. They'll keep coming. But it won't work. Because now they know they have to run and hide. They have to run and hide. You see Haji Yoga? What if we don't want to? Well, you don't want the narcissist person to hurt. Just wish they can see themselves and stop hurting others. These are the words of a wounded empath. A healed empath is no longer interested in whether the narcissist heals or not. The empath just wishes the best for the narcissist, but it's not your job. Haji Yoga, problem when it's your kid. I know, but the rule is still the same. The rule is you are either, the great split has happened, so everyone has picked a side, including your children. They are either on the side of love or on the side of hate. The great split has happened. So awakening is actually seeing things as they are rather than wanting to think things to be as you want them to be. To awaken is actually to see the truth of how things are. And when the moment you see that, that's the end of it. Of course, there's a grieving process. I know mindful freedom. I understand it. But your peace is more valuable than chaotic hate because of proximity. You see? The ego is the narcissist, and all humans have it. Yes, and to overcome the ego, you realize the ego is only useful insofar as you say, this is my body, this is my car. Beyond that, the ego is useless. The ego comes into being when the person has no confidence. Because when you have confidence by going through trials, you are present. When you have no confidence based on competence, then there is the ego. So a competent person is confident. An incompetent person is egotistical. Do you see what I'm saying, Son of God, 7777? But you knew that already, Son of God. You knew that. You knew that already. So this is what happens. You see, this is what happens when you wake up. And these narcissists will have to run and hide. They have to run and hide. This is the same thing that happens to them. You see, because these are the times we're in. These are the times we're in. So when you understand this, you understand you're on the path to ultimate freedom. What if there are neurodevelopmental issues or severe depression? Then they should go deal with the psychologist and go to the appropriate and get the appropriate help. Get the appropriate help. It must be undone in the mind with the help of the Holy Spirit. That's the point of awakening. You cannot awaken without being nudged. And when you don't accept the awakening, then the nudge becomes even more powerful. You cannot accidentally curse the narcissist. Your job is not to seek revenge. Your job is only to improve. That's the ultimate curse on the narcissist. Anybody who tries to curse a narcissist is not a real empath. The real empath just focuses on healing and becoming better. And you becoming better is the ultimate karma for the narcissist. Because the narcissist came to kill, steal, and destroy. Laliluna, am I making sense? My dear sister, this is what it is. You can't accidentally curse them now. If you do curse them, you're playing the same game. Your job is not to seek revenge or send to sender. Improving yourself and getting to your dharma. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because when you curse them, that curse returns to you. You see, this is why it's important to forgive a narcissist. Because when you forgive a narcissist and they send you negative energy, it meets in the ether and there's the boomerang effect. Your negative energy goes back to them. Your positive energy comes back to you. But when the narcissist wins evil for you, and you also mean evil for them, then guess what happens? Fire! Fire! Fire next time. This is why forgiveness and love is your ultimate protection against evil. The evil of narcissism. I think there's a level of understanding of narcissistic abuse. It must be the first phase of awakening. Yes, of course. But this is what it is. After calling it, I felt rejected. You're rejected because you've always been rejected. You've always been rejected because of the light you carry. Never reply to negative. Forgiveness is the red pill. Well said. It makes sense. Is there any average time when somebody heals from narcissism? It's up to you. Enlightenment now. So if you want to hold on to your pain, then you're going to be there forever. If you're tired of holding on to your pain, then enlightenment is right here. Because a lot of people think enlightenment is a place to get to. You're already enlightened. You're just covered by programming and abuse and manipulation. And so healing is releasing the layers. So what is there is just there. There's nowhere else to go. Shine for me. Come on, sing it. This is what happens. When you forgive, you start to shine. Like Janet Electronica and Kelly Moonstone are telling you. This is what happens when you forgive. So if anything I've said here resonates with you and you want to go deeper, just book a free session on my website, innermileage.com, innermileage.com, and know that there's no one like you. There's no one like you. It keeps shining. Book a free session at innermileage.com, and I'll tell you the truth. So take your power back. Red pill means truth. That's it. You're making excuses. It's focus on yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Those who are supposed to be with you will find you. Those who are not. We're not here to make excuses for the narcissist behavior. We have compassion for it. We have compassion, but we're not here to make excuses. Is it Asperger's? Is it bullying? Once you know narcissism, you know it. You don't make excuses for it. And sort of I get a little impatient with making excuses for the narcissist. So this is the message, you know? So if I can be of help, just book a free session at innermileage.com. And remember, there's no one like you. Innermileage.com. That's going within. So these narcissists cannot come within again. You see what I'm saying? Ah, what a message. They can't stop I and I. They can't stop you and I. See, because we've got the force of love and wisdom with us. Compassion. So this is the message, yeah? So one love, innermileage.com, innermileage.com. One love, 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 one love. Thank you so much. One love.